Hello and welcome to the show. I'm glad you're with us today. We're going to have some fun today. I've got Matt Bond with me. He's one of the apprentice students that we have here in our 3-week apprenticeship program. And we're going to talk today about controlling your emotions while you're working a horse, and we're going to talk about seat position. These are two key elements in developing good horsemen and in good horses. We're going to cover all of that and more on Discovering the Horseman Within right now.
Now the sun is rising slowly on the mountain you must climb, and the trail that takes you closer to the source. And you dream about the moment when you leave it all behind and climb up on that one true horse. That one true horse, the perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance to take a ride on one true horse. Gonna take a ride on one true horse.
Okay, Matt, I want you to start out in just a nice circle exercise out here. And we've talked about this exercise a little bit, but I'm going to go over it for you. I want you to ride a circle. And as you ride this circle, I want your horse nice and soft on the circle. And when you get the horse nice and soft on the circle, I want you to stop and just move the horse inside, okay? Now the stop is not going to be a die-off all movement. You're not going to ride up, stop, and then turn. You're going to ride in here and you're going to use your outside rein. Your inside rein is controlling direction. Your outside rein is controlling leg speed. Your inside rein's got the horse looking to the inside of the circle. So we're going left, he's going to turn left. The outside rein is going to cause the hind end to stop at the same time that your outside leg is going to move the horse over. So let's talk about where are you putting your leg, all right? Let's turn your horse broadside to the camera just a little bit. That's good. You've basically got 3 positions where your leg needs to be, okay? That you need to be concerned about your leg. Inside those 3 positions, there is thousands of buttons, and you can push any button to mean anything, okay? But basically, to make it the most common for people, the most practical for your horse, these 3 positions, the girth with your toe at a 90-degree angle, right there, is going to move that horse's shoulder forward. One of the things I see people do when they get in a saddle to test to see if they want a new saddle, they reach way forward with that stirrup. There's no reason for your leg to be up here, never. Because your leg does not need to be up there, okay? What you need to be able to do is turn your toe out at a 90-degree angle and get into that girth, okay? If you can't get into that region, it's going to get a little harder for you to train. The next area that we're going to talk about is right directly back from there with your leg straight down underneath of you in the center of the horse, and that's going to control his rib cage, okay? So the girth is going to control the front end of the horse. The center of the horse is going to control, gee golly, the center of the horse. What do you know about that? Okay, we're going to work on that rib cage. The third position is back here where your back cinch would go, or back towards the flank. That's going to control the hind end of the horse, okay? So today we're going to work specifically on moving the front end for the next few minutes, because that's the area you've been having trouble with. We may use all 3 of those. Now, this is your leg position, right? What about your upper body position? Because your upper body position is critical. If you don't have your upper body position in a way that's going to work, it's going to make it a lot harder for the horse. Here's a news flash for you. You can be in any position. And if you're patient enough, the horse will figure out what you're asking. But if you're in the correct position, it's easier for the horse to figure it out faster. That's what horsemanship is about. How can I make this for the horse as easy as possible and get it to happen quickly, okay? So, when we're asking our horse to do something, I want you to think about kicking a soccer ball, okay? When you guide a soccer ball, what do? You would kick it with the side of your foot to send it over that way, or if you want to send it this way, you would kick it with this foot and send it that way. You wouldn't grab it with both feet and try to move it around, okay? You'd move like a penguin. It's not going to work. Your upper body is the same thing. If you want this horse to move away from you, you need to push him away from you with your hips, okay? Don't drag him away with your shoulders. And I'm gonna work on that quite a little bit with you, all right? Good, now at this point, Matt, you've been real quiet, so if you don't start talking more, we're gonna take your microphone away.
That sounds good.
Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and start on this circle. Anytime you have any questions.
Not right now. Oh,
No.
at a walk or a jog?
At a walk. For right now, let's just get it at a walk. Okay. Now, I want you to get your chin up. I want you to look where you're going. And I want you to stop right there. Just stop. Okay? I want you to freeze frame about 4 frames back. All right, so when you stopped, 2 things happened. I wanted to point out something on Matt's body position to Matt and to the camera. But something else happened when Matt stopped. Did you see Matt's horse's body? When Matt's horse stopped, its hind end came to the outside. So Matt, I want you to step off your horse for a second. I'm gonna step on her. We're gonna do this a few times. We're gonna switch back and forth here, trade back and forth. Why is it important that she moved her hind end into the camera? Because it tells us she stopped on her front end, all right? Now, as Matt came around the outside circle, if you were to hit rewind, what you would have seen was Matt's leg just like this. See how far off that horse's leg is? All right, when your leg is out here, you're offering the horse 0 support, okay? So Matt, I want you to lower your legs, turn your heels in on a 90. Now this mare is really waiting. She's an overachiever, okay? So she's waiting for me to cue something. So what I do is I just let my calves work here, keep them in a little closer so that if she starts to fall out of the circle, what's gonna happen is she's gonna bump into my leg. If she starts to dive into the circle, what's gonna happen? She's going to bump into my leg. Now, I'm gonna ride forward, just nice and soft, keeping my chin up and seeing this circle in front of me on the ground. And I wanna point my belt buckle at that circle. And I want this horse to start seeing where it is that I wanna go. Now she wants to really kinda use her front end a lot, and she's just convinced I'm gonna jab her with a spur or something. So I'm just gonna keep that belt buckle pointed up there. And all I'm worried about right now is a nice circle. I'm gonna keep my inside shoulder up. So I'm not leaning into this circle. I wanna keep my inside shoulder up, keep my chin up. I wanna look at this circle, see where I'm going. And I wanna get my horse really nice and soft. Now, remember what I said when we started the show? We're gonna talk about a couple of things here. We're gonna talk about body position, but we're gonna talk about the mental control you have over the horse and control over your emotions. If you get out of control with your emotions, immediately you're gonna scare the horse. They are a master of reading intent, all right? So when you get scared, they're gonna be like, blah. When you get mad, they're still gonna be like, blah, all right? Because when you get mad, you just become an aggressor. So what I want you to work on is finding something in this horse that you really like. And sometimes we've got to dig deep, okay? Sometimes we got to reach way down in. Because when you see that anger and you see that mad, okay, that mad's got to go away. You've got to say, I know that this horse is capable. This is a simple, basic exercise. We're just working on a simple, basic circle. But I gotta find something she's doing right here so I can reward her, okay? So I come up here and just, whoo. Now, we hit the front end a little bit, but not bad. So I'm just gonna ride forward out of it and I'm gonna say, good job. I'm not gonna correct on her. I'm not gonna harp on her. I'm just gonna say, good job, you did good. Give her just enough release to walk forward. I'm not gonna love on her and say, oh wow, because she messed up. But at the same time, she tried, so I'll try again. Whoa. Walk forward, okay? The stop is not forever. She didn't do it right, so walk forward. No big correction, no big anything. Just ride forward. Whoa. That was better, okay? A lot better. That's what I want you to work on. That's the first specific thing I want you to work on. We've got to have that before we go any further. And we're going to go to that right after this. Matt, earlier this morning you had some issues with this horse outside up in the pasture, and things were just sort of here and there and everywhere. And that's what I think we've got to break that down one piece at a time, pull it apart, and then we can go forward from it. All right, so let's start on this circle. You could spend the next 4 hours doing this circle and working to get it right. And I just pick a number. Matt's not going to get this circle perfect in the next 10 minutes, and I don't want to spend 10 minutes on it. What I want to do is get Matt the idea of picking his chin up, looking out in front of him, seeing that circle in front of himself, letting his legs support this mare. We get that, I see that improvement, I see that Matt's starting to get that, then I want to go on to the next portion of the exercise. Okay, now as you come around, Matt, what I would like you to do is take your outside leg and just place it at the girth and check your outside rein and bring this mare directly into me on her front end. Right there, just push her around there a little bit more. Okay, I would have liked to have seen a little more, just actually go back the direction you were going. Just turn right around, there you go. I would have liked to have seen a little sharper turn over here. That would have happened with a little more of your support rein and a little more of your support leg. You're going to be able to control that front end a little easier if you just pick up on that support rein and that support leg a little more. Elevate your inside shoulder. Go ahead and put that leg there, kind of stop those reins. Move that front end a little more, and I'll just finish the circle. What I want to see this mare do is actually stop her hind end and pivot to a 45. So I'd like her to walk up here, stop, step over, and then make the circle. We're not asking her to spin, we're just asking her to set her hind end down and step over. Okay, Matt, come right up here. Start with that leg, just support with your outside rein. Stop, step over, more leg, more leg, more leg. There, right there. Walk back, finish your circle. Okay, so what happened, we got about 2-3 steps, not much good. The last step, she actually figures out what he wants, walk forward. You got to take the tiny try and build on it from there. Okay, so go ahead and put that outside leg on her, and then use that supporting rein. A little more rein, a little more leg, just shut that down. Okay, just keep it there. I haven't seen that crossover step I wanted yet. Okay, she's walking forward. There, walk out. Okay, right here. She comes over here, she makes a couple of circles and a half, and right over here she kind of steps, she drops that inside hind foot, steps over once or twice, walk out of it. Any questions so far, Matt?
Is my rein actually touching the outside, like my outside rein touching her neck?
And it's good if that outside rein touches her neck a little bit and you want to bring it straight back to your belly button, and it kind of becomes a bit of a neck rein.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and let's practice that again right here. Okay, drive forward, drive forward, drive forward. Why did I say drive forward? Come back into the circle. Because on that particular situation, when he picked up on the reins, she jammed her front end into the ground and spun her hind end out. So right away you drive forward, get that hind end up underneath of you again. You gotta have that hind end underneath of you. Okay, your leg first. Now support rein. Much better, okay? Not as much pivot, but a lot of try. Okay, right there. Go ahead and just forward, forward, don't lose the impulsion. There's that Coke bottle I don't like. Stay with it, bring her around again. Stop. Okay, now, we've sped up the process. Now we've got the mare on her front end. Okay? So, that's partially her. That's because she's just resisting the bit. When you touch her, she's just wanting to stab out there and get on the front end. So drive her up, sit out, use your outside leg, bring that front end around again. Okay, try it again. Go ahead, outside leg, stop that front end. Okay, now we're just Coke bottling around. Ride her out here. Okay, let me step up on her. See if I can ride her and feel what you're feeling and if we can make a little change. Okay, so I'm gonna ride up here, and I'm gonna take my outside leg, put it at the girth, stop that front end, and oh goodness, everything falls apart. I'm gonna ride forward, drive her up into that bit, bring her around. And when she starts to have an emotional meltdown, I'm just gonna take her through it. Bring that front end around. Okay, she melts down, ride her up through it. Bring that front end around. Again, when she melts down, ride her up here through it. This is why it's good for me to get on her and see what you're dealing with. You know, where is it? What's happening? And stop that hind end, move that front end around there. She just dives that front end. So just push her up here. Stop that hind end, move that front end around. There. That was good. Okay, so for where we've been, that was good. So I just pet on her, love on her, tell her, hey, good job. Good job. Let her know it was right. You've got to know the correction. You personally have to know the correction. And sometimes you can't know that until you see it or are told it. But you have to know the correction before you can correct the horse. And the horse has to know. So I'll bring her up here, add that outside leg, look to the inside. Right there, drive her forward. She's gonna melt down. I'm okay with her meltdown. Drive her forward. Stop that hind end. She has that meltdown, drive her forward. Just get her up in here. Stop that hind end. There. Good, okay? And tell her again, we've got to get a habit of what is good. We can't worry about what's bad. We've got to get a habit of what's good. Get that good habit built in there so that when we come, if we spend a lot of time drilling on what's bad, here's what's gonna happen. We're gonna look like we're in a fight all the time, which is kind of what you had going this morning when you came back and said, all right? You've got to get this horse in a habit that says, I can win. If I try, I can win. Right there, you see I start to pick up on those reins, she drives that head up in the air, throws her front end into the ground. I'm just gonna push her forward with my legs. Tell her that's the wrong answer, and if you try, you can win. Ride her around here. Anytime I feel her throw that head up, I'm not even gonna ask, because it's the inappropriate time to ask. It's not a point in place where we're gonna get any success. If I feel her throw that shoulder out at me, I'm just gonna push it back with my leg, tell her, hey, that's not gonna work, okay? Bring that front end around. Don't throw it there. Good, okay? So there's a spot where I can reward on her. All right, you get back up on her. Do the same thing. Drive up there with your legs. You want to drive that horse up there and get her back up into that bit. Don't let her throw her head and none of that's, it's all ugly and it's not worthwhile. So drive her back up into that bit. Get her nice and soft. Get her where you want her, then ask again. That was better. You wanted to release just a little sooner.
Okay.
This horse, she wants to win. She doesn't want to fight. This horse did not wake up this morning and say, 12:45 this afternoon, I'm going to make Matt and Ken frustrated. They don't think that way. They don't even try to think that way. She got up this morning and said, gee, I can't wait to eat and I hope they leave me the heck alone all day. That's what she's thinking. So when you come out here and she gets frustrated, you want to correct her, you want to pick her up, you want to support her, you want to tell her where you want her, and then you want to leave her alone. Now, Matt's got 100 times better 180, right? You can see that. All of a sudden, there's a walk around here, stop, and he's making a 180. Oh, her nose, it's ugly. It's ugly, we gotta work on that. Push forward, push forward. Don't let her on her hind end. Your change of directions is looking much better. Your body position is much better. Drive her forward. I want you to learn to feel that. When you came up there to stop, her hind end fell out. No sense in asking for the turn. If her hind end fell out, you're not going to get anything. So drive her forward. Learn to feel that. Learn to feel that through your seat. You keep your chin up. But his body position looks a lot better. He's helping this horse out. He's riding her a lot better. Right there, good job. You caught her, she started to fall out. You picked her up, ride her forward. That's excellent. Ride her forward. Good. See, when you're losing that circle, ride her forward. Feel that and change it right away. That's what becoming a horseman is about. Now, oh, I hope the camera could catch that. Because Matt came up there, his seat relaxed, his heels dropped, the mare stopped with her hind end, not her front end. Her nose wasn't perfect in the pivot, but darn it, everything else was really pretty. Go ahead and go around this way and make a change that direction. Okay? So, oh, I hope that was caught, because that was really good, Matt. I mean, you were just right where you needed to be. You stopped right. Your body position was good. That was all really good. Push forward. If she hits that front end, drops that hip out, push forward. Well, Matt, thank you. I appreciate you joining us today and being with us and bringing your horse out here and being willing to take the lesson in public. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, folks, for joining us. We sure hope you enjoyed it. We enjoy having you. And until next week, may God bless the trails you ride.
For more information about Ken McNabb Clinics, appearances, and products, visit kenmcnabb.com.
One true horse, a perfect partner built to ride. One true horse, a bond that cannot be denied. You would search forever just to have the chance to take a ride on one true horse. Gonna take a ride on one true